Okay, so let's see here. What I have going on tonight is creating an entrepreneurial operating system. Now, what this is from a book called Traction by Gino Wickman. And well, by the way, Dan, I'm Patrick Moran. I'm one of the owners here at Window World, and alongside my dad and my grandfather and my sister as well. And I've been doing this myself for about 17 years now. Ever since I was 14, I was learning the ropes on everything. I've done everything from install, service, to sales, and to management. And now I'm kind of overseeing all 7 of our locations. So we've hit a lot of road bumps and have, like any company, we have issues. And it's all about how you solve those issues that makes you a great company. So this book here that I read put everything in perspective for me. It laid everything out and compartmentalized everything. And it made total sense on what Gino was saying in his book. So we took it and we ran with it. There's thousands, I'm sure thousands of companies across the entire globe that use this system. And so we embraced it and we're going along with it. We have about 69 employees and probably about 50 subcontractors, whether that be salesmen or installers. So there's a lot of people, a lot of moving parts that go on around here. So using this system really has helped us out a lot so far. And we're still needing to move it down towards our other employees. So we're in the beginning stages of it right now. So in order to start doing this, there are 6 key components that you need to look at. And it starts with your vision. And then you look at your people, data, issues, process, and then you get traction. So a lot of the times with traction, we feel like we're spinning our tires sometimes. We're solving the same issues again and again. And so now using this is going to help us gain traction as to solving the issues and solving them forever and having a resolution where everyone's on the same page and they know how to handle those issues. So to start out, we have a tool called the Vision Traction Organizer. And this is the tool for the vision section or component. So when we're creating a vision, we use 8 questions. 1, we have core values. We have our core focus, a 10-year target, our marketing strategy, 3-year picture, 1-year plan, quarterly rocks, which are quarterly goals, and we have our issues list. So what are core values? Core values define your culture and who you truly are as people. When we were coming up with our core values, we were thinking of what, as owners, do we live by and what do we want our employees to live by? And because that reflects in the end our reputation with our customers. So our core values here is our first core value is customer success, the Window World experience, service oriented, the value of reputation, and dedicated teamwork. So our first core value, customer success. We want all of our customers to be successful when they're purchasing products from Window World. So from start to finish, we want to have as little issues as possible, of course, but if there are any issues that we want to take care of them immediately. The Window World experience kind of ties both customer and employee in the same net here, because we want everyone to have a great attitude here and to portray us as, a good attitude kind of company to our customers and have everyone be comfortable with where they work and the environment that they work in. Our third core value is service oriented. So we service our products. So we sell our products, install them, and then we have a lifetime warranty that we back on all of our products. So being service oriented is very important when you're speaking with your customers. You could be speaking to a very upset customer and you need to know ways of how to calm them down, have them realize that there is a solution and that we will take care of that issue for them. And my dad found a video a long time ago, and it's like 1980s kind of video. And they taught us LAST, an acronym called LAST, LAST. And the first, L stands for listen, the A is apologize, the S is solve, and the T is thank. So you want to listen, apologize, solve, and thank them for bringing the issue up to you. And I've lived by this every time I have to speak with a customer, and it's worked very well for me. People really appreciate it, the fact that you do apologize that something has happened, and then thank them for bringing the issue or opportunity up to you. Our fourth core value is value of reputation. So of course, employees have to live by what the greater good is for the business and the reputation that it holds. Dedicated teamwork, everyone has to work together. You know, communication is absolutely key, but everyone has to work together in the offices. So core focus. Core focus, why does your organization exist? What is its purpose, cause, or passion? And then you have your niche. What is one thing do you provide and do better than anyone else in your industry? So for us, our core focus is improving homes and changing lives. And our niche is creating a lifelong exterior remodeling experience. So this is really important for keeping you on track with what you do for business and how you do business. So we're not going to go and sell tires because we're a window replacement company. If we see, Gino talks about shiny stuff in the book. So if you see something that you could see making money, something else that you can sell that doesn't relate to your core focus, then you probably shouldn't be doing it, because you need to focus on what you do best and better than anyone else. Then the next question is, what is your 10-year target? We've never had a 10-year target before. We actually made this into a 30-year anniversary target, which is about 13 years out. But this can be a 10-year, 5-year, 40-year, whatever your team decides that they want to do and make that target. So this is the one larger than life goal that everyone is working toward, the thing that gives everyone in the organization a long range direction. So as an example, our 30-year anniversary goal is to have 300,000 contracts. And currently today we're above 60,000. So that's our long range goal. Then we have our marketing strategy. So it was interesting when we were doing this, because we have a marketing director here that is in-house. And when I was talking with our leadership team, which I'll explain in a minute, I asked everyone, what is our target market? Does anyone have any idea? And nobody did. So it was really good to nail this down so everyone understands who we are exactly targeting. And if they're speaking with someone, then they can hopefully make some more sales for us. So there's 4 key elements when it comes to making a marketing strategy. And that is first, your target market, or as Gino calls it, the list. And then we have the 3 uniques, the proven process, and a guarantee. So to start with the list, your target market is how you identify your ideal customers. Who are they? Where are they? And what are they? So you have your demographic, geographic, and psychographic. So here at Window World, homeowners with homes that value between 100,000 to 300,000, homes 20 plus years old, and adults 35 to 64 years old in the counties that we serve. Because as if we are a franchise, so we have counties that we are assigned to and we can sell in. 3 uniques. So 3 uniques are what separates you from your competition. Now, one might be similar to a unique that another company would have, but all 3 of them should separate you from the rest. So with us, we have our family owned, we're nationally known. We have transparent pricing and buy once for life. So if you're not familiar with our industry in construction, transparent pricing is very rare to see. A lot of companies gouge the prices. They have extreme margins that they extend, and they'll write down, a salesman will come in the house and they'll write down a number on the back of a piece of paper and they'll show it to you. and you really don't know what you're buying. So with us, we have a menu laid out contract. Everything is very transparent with how we price out things. And of course, our buy once for life, we have that lifetime warranty that backs our product. So our proven process is the proven way you provide service or product to your customers. Now, this should be a graphic that I'll show you an example of in a minute. I'm working on ours as we speak. So we would first acquire the sale, measure products, and then it goes to order products, installation, and then service. This is the basic way that our salesman can explain to a customer what to expect after they purchase the product. After they sign that piece of paper and the salesman walks out of the door, they really don't know what to expect. If they're going to be getting a phone call from someone, if we're just going to order the windows, or if we're going to call them next week to install the windows, they have no idea. So with this system and this graphic, it's really going to help the customer out in the long run. So EOS, their proven process looks like this. And this is something that we followed, of course. And so you have your 90-minute meeting, which we'll discuss in a minute. You have your focus day, which is a 1 day out of the office discussing the bullet points listed below. And then you have your vision building, which is a 2-day out of the office focusing on those bullet points. And then you have your quarterly pulsing, which I'll explain as well when we move on. So the 90-minute meeting is about us, about you, the tools, and the process. And I'll get deeper into that. But the focus day is hitting the ceiling. You just feel like you keep on taking 1 step forward, 2 steps back kind of thing. So we really take the day to focus on building an accountability chart, setting our quarterly goals, which are rocks, a meeting pulse, which we'll discuss, and our scorecard with measurables. The vision building day is setting up your core values, your core focus, the 10-year target, marketing strategy, 3-year plan, picture, 1-year plan, quarterly rocks, and issues list. So these really helped us when we took it out of the office. We had no distractions. We were able to sit in a meeting room and really nail these things down. And it was interesting to get everyone's opinions. The quarterly pulsing is focus and traction. It's team health and team building exercises, quarterly rocks, discussing those again, of course, issues, of course, and your toolbox tools that I'll show you more of the tools, and the accountability chart. So your guarantee is the next thing down the list of the 8 questions that we answer inside of the marketing strategy. So a guarantee is your opportunity to pinpoint an industry-wide problem and solve it. If you can guarantee it, it will put your customers' minds at ease and close more business. So at Window World, some companies might not have a guarantee, but we do. We promise a superior installation paired with a lifetime of first-rate service, and that's our guarantee, absolutely. And we have our 3-year picture. So 3-year picture is where you see your company in 3 years. I used examples with EOS and our goals with EOS. So in 3 years, where I see us at is 100% the right people in the right seats, which I found to actually be very interesting. Right people, right seats. EOS shared by all, 100% by all. There's a difference between shared by all and shared with all. Core values documented 100% and followed by all, and core processes documented 100%. Those are just some of them. Of course, we have more. Our 1-year plan are goals that need to be achieved this year, and in turn sets you up for a successful 3-year picture. So our 1-year plan, part of it, is 100% general managers and office staff shared with all. Everyone understands where we're heading and what the direction that we're going is. The vision traction organizer. So the tool for vision, the vision component, is the VTO is what we call it. And The VTO is a very simplistic 2-page paper that jots all of this down for you so you have a clear vision of where you're headed and your employees know as well. So we first have our core values. We have our core focus that we write down in there, our 10-year target, our marketing strategy, and our 3-year picture. Now you'll see with our 3-year picture that we have a future date, revenue, profit, and measurables. So when you're making a goal, you want to make it a SMART goal. And that stands for a specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and a time-based goal. So you want to follow that acronym when you're making these goals up, which this is why there's a date in there, and you have a list of all of your goals that you'd like to accomplish in the next 3 years, by the next 3 years. On the second page of the VTO, we have our 1-year plan, our rocks, and our issues list. So it makes this very simple. One of the reasons why I love EOS is because it simplifies everything for you. It gets everything down from seeming complex to being simplified in just a couple sentences of what's going on with the business and where you're headed. So then we have on our next component is the people component. And the tools we use for this are the accountability chart and the people analyzer. With the accountability chart, this is your top tier of the accountability chart. So different from an organizational chart, an accountability chart works a little bit differently. It lists out for every position what their roles and responsibilities are. What are they going to be held accountable for accomplishing for the company? And then below that, they have their direct reports. So whoever they're managing or leading, their direct reports to that person, and their and it's all laid out just like this. So this would be our top tier that we have at Window World, and this is our leadership team. So when I mentioned that earlier, our leadership team has weekly meetings now, and we discuss high-level issues that are going on with the company, and we solve those kind of issues. Now, the People Analyzer is one of the most beneficial tools that we've found so far. And this lays everything out with all of your employee names on the left-hand side. It has the bar, which is the minimum requirement that they'll have. And you'll lay out all of your core values at the top. And you'll have plus, minus, and plus signs that go down in each block. So does Sally Jones hold our first core value all the time? Does she live by our first core value? And it's yes, so we put a plus. Does Sally Jones sometimes live by our core value? And then you put a plus minus. And then does she not live by our core value at all? Then you put a minus. And the bar is your minimum that you'll accept in the company. So as long as they have 3 pluses and 2 plus minuses, then they're still a good fit for your company. This really helps with understanding that your employees are a good fit for your company, because in some atmospheres, someone could be better somewhere else rather than being with your company. So this really helps lay it out and makes it simple for decisions to be made. Then the last 3 things that we have at the top right are get it, want it, and the capacity to do it. So does Sally understand her position at Window World? Does she understand what she has to do? Does she understand her responsibilities? And that's either a yes or no. You put a Y or an N. Does Sally want the job? Is she just here for the paycheck and just here to put hours on the clock, or does she really like and enjoy and want her position here? And then the third is, does she have the capacity? Does she have the mental capacity, the physical capacity, the time capacity to do what she needs to get done? And if not, why? And is there maybe a different seat that she would be better in that you can consider? So the People Analyzer, I love this chart. Then we go on to the data section, and we have a tool called our scorecard. And the scorecard is full of fun, interesting numbers that you can track, you find trends in, and you can hopefully predict the future. I know that we all wish we could do that, but hopefully the scorecard will help you predict the future and catch things before they become a really big issue. I use an example from our scorecard of our closing percentages, and it just kind of goes down on a weekly basis. We put in our numbers, and then we have a monthly scorecard, and everyone will get a scorecard in our entire company. So everyone will have measurables, whether it be closing percentage or whether it be how many incomplete services we've done that week. So everyone will have a number. And it's extremely important that we look at these on a weekly basis and see if something's falling off or not. Then we move into our issues component and our issues list. So leaving your ego at the door, which is really important, you need to identify the issues that you face on a daily basis. Making this list up, you really have to zoom out and take a look at what have you been dealing with every day, what issues have been coming up, and then put them down on your issues list. When you have your weekly meetings that we'll discuss here, then those issues will be topics of your meetings, and you will identify what obstacles, concerns, and opportunities you face when you're achieving your vision. And you'll do something called an IDS, which is identify, discuss, and solve. So you want to first identify the problem, but you want to identify the root of the problem, not just the problem over as a general statement. You want to identify what really is causing that problem to happen, and then you want to discuss the heck out of it. In the weekly meeting, you'll have 60 minutes, an hour and a half long meeting. You'll have 60 minutes of that to discuss and solve issues. So you really want to get down to discussing the heck out of the issue and then coming up with a solution and having it be solved forever. Then we get into our process component, and every seat must have its core processes documented. You want to follow the 20-80 rule. So you want to document 20% that produces 80% of the results. If you try to document everything, you're going to have binders, you're going to have stacks of paper, you're going to have a bunch of notes written down of SOPs and everything, but you want to simplify everything. So you want to make a simple core process that people can follow in their positions. With an example, our marketing department, so it has a number 1, it says budgets. So her first process is budgeting for advertising. The first step underneath the budgets is she needs to determine her store ad budgets. And this is based on anticipated percentage of sales for the next year. And then we analyze leads set versus money spent. And then we track our calls. So we have different phone numbers on different advertisements, and we want to make sure that those advertisements are working for us. So through our scheduling department that receives phone calls to schedule sales appointments, she uses our tracking numbers as sources to find out that information. Then we have our traction component, which is our to-do list here. So in order to gain traction, you need to have meetings. Well, let me get into the to-do list first, okay? The to-dos are weekly goals. So what needs to get done by the next week? These can be created from the issues list or rocks. So if you're discussing an issue, then an action is required to solve that problem, then a to-do is put in place for that person to accomplish before the next week's meeting. If you say you're going to do something, it's on the list now, so they got to do it. They're going to be held accountable for what's on that issues list and what to get done before the next meeting the next week. Our quarterly rocks, like I mentioned earlier, are quarterly goals. What do you have to get done in the next 3 months that keeps you on track with your 1-year plan? And then of course we have make them our SMART goals. So Stephen Covey made a video about rocks, and I thought it was very interesting. So I wanted to play it for you guys today. And I'll get in. So I'll show this. It's a 4-minute video. So I'll show it to you real quick.
Your name is Elizabeth. You have a work life? Family life as well? Children? Not yet. Not yet. What's the nature of your work assignment? International firm. So you really are interfacing with all kinds of people in the firm and outside the firm. That's right. You want a rich personal life and a rich family life. You ever feel like you get bogged down in the thick of thin things? Yes. Well, that might be analogous to all these little small things tend to fill our life. And they're just little by little, they just accumulate. Now, your job, you can't go above this, is to get all those large rocks in the jar. Good luck. What's that one called?
Q2, planning, preparation.
Right. Planning, preparation, prevention, and empowerment. Okay, the next rock she's putting in there is called relationships and family. Look at that third rock you put in there. That's employment, some key employment issue, and then you put major projects here. I can't get it above there.
I haven't worked it yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's fair. That's called service, community, church. Do you ever feel like this?
Yes.
How many feel like this? By moving the little things around, you might squeeze in one more of those big major things. It's almost, wow, you know, but doesn't fit, force it. Here's something that's called urgent and important. It's quadrant 1 thing that is blindsiding you, that your biggest client, that if you don't get back to that client now, you've given up your vacation and you have no special block of time just for yourself. I'll tell you what you can do if you want to. You can take a whole different approach. You have a totally fresh goal. You can work out of a different paradigm altogether.
Well, then I'd rather put these in the bottom. And then for the little pebble,
Employment,
big opportunity,
big opportunity.
important and urgent, block of time. Those young children keep looking at me. My husband's not here. No, I dumped these in there.
Okay.
Right. I love that video. You did such a good job with having everyone be able to visualize and understand the rocks. To me, the rocks are important because there's big goals that you have to get done, but there's so much crazy stuff happening every day that you feel like, how am I ever going to get this done? So setting yourselves these goals for quarterly really has you focus on them. So if you don't put the big rocks first, you'll never get them all in. And I believe that that was from Stephen Covey in his answer to this. So our quarterly rocks are, by the end of Q2, EOS is shared with all of our general managers. By the end of Q3, it's shared with all of our office staff. And by Q4, everyone has rocks and scorecards. Everyone's moving along with everything. Level 10 meetings. So L10s, these are our weekly meetings that I've been talking about. We want to start on time, end on time, the same day and the same time. So first, there's an agenda that is made up for this meeting. And for the first 5 minutes is a segue. You want to discuss any good news that happened in the past week. You want to set the meeting off in a good tone, a good start, and a positive tone. And then you do a scorecard review. So it's very quick, going down the scorecard, seeing what's red, what's green, what needs to be improved, what's not. You take the red measurables, you put them on the issues list, and you discuss them every week. Then you go into a rock review. You go down everyone's rocks. Are you on track, off track, or is it complete? So this came up in this past week. Someone's rock was off track. And they said, well, you know, it's going to be back on track. And I go, what have you done so far to get that rock on track? And they said, well, I haven't done anything yet. And I go, okay, well, we're still off track. So kept it as off track. So you want to pay attention to those. Any issues that come out of that can be put on the issues list. And then we have our customer employee headline, which any news that everyone should know about when it relates to our customers or employees goes on this headline. You briefly go down that list. And then you go down our to-do list. Is it done or is it not done from the past week? You check them off. And then we go into our IDS session. So 60 minutes of the meeting is just discussing issues, identifying, discussing, and solving them. And that all gets pulled from your issues list, of course. And then at the last 5 minutes, you conclude. So it's only 90 minutes once a week to get everyone to focus on what issues are going on, how to solve them, and are you on track or off track with your scorecard, rocks, and to-do list. Simple. So the medium pulse is like an EKG monitor showing spikes. When people have to get something done for a meeting, they wait until the last minute, and they usually finish, but that is what causes the spike, these intervals. The more you increase the interval, the more spikes you get. So if you had meetings on a weekly basis, you're going to be finding out that people are getting their to-do list done the week or the day before the meeting or the day of the meeting. And those are the spikes that you're looking for because you know that important things are getting done. So you have your weekly 90-minute meeting, and then we have a quarterly meeting where just like that focus day I mentioned earlier, we go off site for a full day and we focus on setting new rocks. We look at our VTO and see if there's any changes. We look at the accountability chart. And then you also have your annual meeting, which is a 2-day meeting off site as well, that focuses on everything else as well and make sure that if there's any changes or anything that you've been thinking of doing differently can be brought up on these days to make things a lot better for everyone. So with the meeting pulse, it all feeds into each other. So when you have your 30-year anniversary, everything you're doing with your goals needs to get you to that goal at your 30-year or your 10-year. So from our 30-year, we have our 3-year, then we have our 1-year, quarterly, and then we have our weekly meetings. So everything feeds into each other. And then at the top, you have your vision of where you see yourself in 30 years, and you have your traction on how to get yourself to that goal. Okay, so does anyone have any questions for me? Kimberly, I see that you're on. Kimberly is our implementer for EOS, and she does a phenomenal job. She works with multiple companies with this program. Thanks for joining us.
Pat, I have a question for you.
Sure.
So can you give an example of something kind of earth-shattering that you uncovered from a positive standpoint? When you installed this, you're in the process of installing, what's the aha moment that came to you and said, this proves that this is the right system for us?
Well, I'll never forget the day when I first read the book. It was November 19th through the 21st of last year. I went out to Mohegan State Park with Ron Anowski. And I couldn't stop reading it. I read the book. I was highlighting stuff in there and everything because we were doing a lot of these things, but they weren't compartmentalized. We were doing a lot of the stuff that was in the book, and I had this stuff in my head ever since I came into management. And I've thought of companies. I always thought that there was an organization to it, and there was collaboration and solving issues and stuff like that. So to answer your question, I would say that the scorecard and the people analyzer were the biggest like aha moments that like, this is fantastic. Having the right people in the right seats is extremely important. People are good at different things. So you want to make sure that what they thrive in, that's the seat that they are in. And we made a couple changes already, which this is still new to us, and it's made a huge difference for us, which is great.
Well, I think when you start to measure performance and put the scorecard together, it takes a while for, people to buy in. But the more you talk the philosophy and the more you tell them why it's what you need to do to drive your business forward, and the more they see the performance increase. And in a lot of cases, when you increase the performance, if you have a bonus plan, the bonus gets bigger, actually. So that convinces people that whatever sacrifices they're making are working to be successful. But I think, when you're into this for a year or so, I think you're going to see those things just automatically improve just because the process you're following and making people accountable for what they do. So absolutely. I think it's great. I think it's great philosophy and it's really cool stuff.
Yeah, the scorecard, I've always wanted to try to find a way to reward people. It seems like a lot of the times we are always just hard on people for making mistakes and stuff, but where's the good news at? So we can use a scorecard to say, hey, you're doing a great job. You've been doing a great job for, X amount of weeks or months. And then we can make some incentives for that. So we're moving into that.
Yeah, and I've always said, in a meeting that whatever meeting you have, if you think it's going to be bloody, start out the meeting with some good news, because you want to try to balance it out. You don't want, to just have people put their heads down in their lap and say, not again.
Right.
Let's hear some good news, because not all of it's going to be bad.
Right. Yeah.
So. Okay, that's thank you.
How are you, Kimberly?
Good, Patrick. You did a great job with that. I was so pleased to see how it's all come together.
Thank you. Yeah.
And that's exactly what we always talk about with EOS is like all the pieces can work, but when the pieces come together, it makes it effortless.
Right.
So I'm really happy to see how that's working for you guys.
Yeah, it's a long journey, but we'll get there.
Yeah, and it's going to take a while for all those pieces to fall into place. And you've got so many different individuals to share this with.
Absolutely, right. Yeah,
But well done.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So if that's it, we can, we'll call it here. This will be recorded and it'll be put on our YouTube channel. Score, you can search in our Score Youngstown and you can find our YouTube channel. If you have any questions, anyone can get a hold of me. Believe your name was Daniel. I can put my email address in the chat for you.
Thank you very much, Pat.
Hey, thank you. Have a good rest of your night.
Yep.
Okay, everyone. Well done, Patrick.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. Yeah, thank you for hopping on, Dan. Appreciate it.